So I'm driving around along here this morning and just pulled to talk. So here I am talking again. I was thinking about religion. I was just running things through my mind today and just going for a drive this morning and just, I don't know. I mean, religion caught my attention. I started thinking about that and I thought, you know, I become aware that when I was going through that time in my life, when I was in a horrible, horrible, abusive relationship, after year 5, or whatever, I mean, my body, I just couldn't figure it out. When I look back on it now, and I look at those times, and me questioning myself, questioning my being, questioning my life, questioning all sorts of stuff. Literally. It's like, okay, I felt like a low piece of shit. And I felt ashamed of myself. And why? Well, because we're not supposed to fear. You see, I was raised Catholic, okay? I didn't go through catechism and all this, okay? And God forbid if I didn't. But I was baptized. It doesn't matter. The fact is, I was baptized. And, you know, that sometimes don't... Anyway. But I'm like, obviously I forsake my God because I feared and I let a man, a human, tear me apart and tear me down to nothing. Destroyed my entire being. My character, my demeanor, everything good about me, he had belittled. Literally. Literally, very literally. I was so ashamed of myself that I felt like I couldn't pray because the religion that I had learned prior, I just felt totally ashamed of myself. I felt totally ashamed. And people, you know, because people are like, just get out of it. Just walk away. Do this, do that. They act like it's so... They've never been through it then. Because you can't just walk away. It's not so easy. Okay? These are times where I was, you know, questioning my life. I knew, it's like, well, I mean, if I meant to die from abuse, what else? Okay. And it was after that I'd had my spiritual awakening. I mean, like, literally, I questioned this. And then once I really questioned it, like, I'm just so ashamed. Why am I here in this spot in my life? What did I ever do that was so horrible to put me in this place of hell? Literally. I mean, I was, like, waking up in the middle of the night and seeing demonic entities in his home. Around me, holding me down. He never slept in the same room as me, so I couldn't understand why I was seeing these things and why I was being put through this, or why, you know, I had died back in 2014 and I ended up back here. And that's good, because I love it here. I love being alive and I love my life. But I couldn't figure out, man, if I lived through that, and now it's 3 years later, 4 years later, why was I sent back here if I'm living in hell? If I'm seeing all these dark entities, literally, and how am I able to see this stuff anyway? But I questioned a lot of things. And religion, I had to say, is what really drove me down, because I felt I had forsaken God. I had forsaken myself. I felt like I had forsaken myself too. I felt like I wasn't strong enough to get out of it because of the fear. There were moments, it was very, not just traumatizing, it was like horrific. It was very terrorizing. It was a terrorizing fear. It was like it freezes your body fear. You ever been that scared for your life? I'm just curious. Some people have. Some people haven't. But if they haven't, then you have no right to place judge on anybody. Okay? And I'm over here listening to the shit about my teeth, okay? I don't care what you people think. I don't give a shit about your opinions. Okay? You didn't live my life. You haven't lived my life. Why? Because my teeth are bad? That makes me lesser of a person than I've always been? I'm stronger than what I've ever been. And you know what? I still have my demeanor, and I still have my character, and I still have myself. Do you? If you're out assuming and judging on other people according to their word, and you don't know that person, and you haven't known them for X amount of years or whatever, you haven't lived their life and been at their house and lived their life and was that close to them to know how they lived their life and everything they've been through, well, in those cases, the best thing for you is silence, right? There's some people in this world that don't seem to think so. They seem to think that hearsay and what they heard from somebody else is the absolute truth, and that they're allowed to judge on that. And they think it's okay to make people feel like shit just because they want them to, because of hearsay. That's wrong. You people out there, okay, remember your morals. Alright? Remember your morals. Remember, okay, you better start thinking about the people you listen to. Start thinking about the truths of things. Okay? And if you can't, you know, fess up to your own thoughts and your wrong thoughts and how you were perceiving or thinking things, and accept those mistakes that you yourself made in thinking the way you did, and actually that maybe you screwed up, yeah, been there. My father's been there, my dad. We both were. This last year and a half, it was horrible. It was the most horrible, painful, betraying, horrible thing I'd had to say my father and I had ever been through as a family. My mother passed away 10 years ago. But had she been here, she'd have been devastated. It was so bad I had to throw up. I mean, I threw up the emotions because it was so horrific to me and to my father. And other people out there in this world had this problem too, where shit's going on and other people are being manipulated into believing shit. They're very evil. There's a difference between narcissists, covert narcissists, and being demonically suppressed, oppressed. Just know this. And the demonic, oppressed ones, infested, possessed, whatever you want to call them, okay? They mimic, just as a narcissist or covert narcissist, but they are two different things. The demonically oppressed ones, what I call it, or whatever, they'll kill, okay? They won't hesitate to kill, and they don't have no remorse, and they don't care. They just forget about it. They don't care. They will kill. They will maim. They will harm. They will kill. You know, people aren't thinking this is a serious matter. Yeah, it is. But you go around talking to people and really opening their eyes to this, and a lot of them get real scared. Shit's scary. It is. And I meant to talk about this, and I meant to, you know, make people aware of these things. And I'm also, you know, I'll be, you know, discussing and helping people learn to do their shadow work, which means, you know, detach negative, stagnant energies. That's what you have to see in your mind as a demonic entity. Just see this stagnant, dark energy. Because that's what you see it as. Period. Because that's what it is. It can't touch you. It can't harm you. It can't do anything unless you are in a low vibrational state. Okay? You're vulnerable. If you're sad, you're mad, you're angry, you're frustrated, you're irritated, you're feeling shame, any kind of guilt, any kind of negative emotion, it'll attach. And it loves the light ones the most because, you know, they know they got more room to attach. Because you've got so much light space. You know, it's like somebody finding a new piece of land that has nothing on it, and you're going to live on it. That's how the dark energy, should I say, stagnant energy, sees your body and your aura field. You know how much of that can fit in that little area? It's not really little, it's a lot for them. And they will take it over. It's like taking over someone's house. Just going in and freaking taking their shit over. Putting duct tape over your mouth, taping your asses, everything up, throwing your ass in the closet. It's no different than entities taking over your being in your body. So remember who and what you are. You are a spiritual being having a temporary human experience. Okay? You come from the whole out there. You are a fragment. But you are all that. Okay? Being in your body doesn't stop you from that. You just have to learn how to correlate it. Okay? Maneuver the energies. So that's what I'm to help everybody as I'm learning, and I've learned, you know, how to do that and keep yourself safe from stagnant energies, negative energies, and I'm gonna say evil entities. You can protect against them, and it's wise to do so. I mean, a lot of people were all awakening to this. You know, we know now, you know, what protects us from that. We know when we work together and we talk amongst each other, we all learn, we'll do that. Absolutely. I mean, it's quite... Well, once you become in the higher awareness, like I said, it's not always easy. You know, you learn in a whole new way. Okay, you think you know everything about this life, and you did up to this point. Didn't know everything, but things were suppressed from us, and, you know, we're here to learn. It's not just about survival. It's about living a life here on our planet and enjoying every bit of it. Like I said in my prior, you know, we have color here, we have everything. And it all correlates together, so you better be learning everything about yourself. And if you're going to learn everything about yourself and know who you are and find yourself, you better learn who you are, where you come from, how you were created, what keeps you alive, what you are made of, what human abilities and passions you do have. We're here to love our lives. These lives are about love, okay? And being here is like, hey, man, I got to be here in this body and embody all of this beauty within another body. Think about being human. Think about your sight. Think about your senses. Think about your instincts. I mean, it's beautiful being human. You know, you look around, it's beautiful being all sorts, but I mean, it's pretty impressive. It's pretty honorable being a human. You know? But be kind and be loving when you do it. Compassionate. Stay moral and true. Nobody said you had to be religious. Okay? Just right here, I've got here. And know that you don't need to go to a church and be, you know, congregation and fellowship's all good and all. But God, Christ, it's right here. Always. And always around you. No matter what. Okay? As long as you're doing your work. This is how I learned that. I was so down on myself, and all of a sudden, it's like God touched me. And it was powerful. So powerful. And boy, was I wrong. That religion thing, you don't have to go to church. I'm not saying it's bad. It's not. It's good. You can go, and that's awesome. It is, because that's how I started too. I'm just saying, know don't feel ashamed. Don't let somebody else tell you that if you don't go to church that you're not part of Christ or God. Or if you don't go to church and do things their way or take communion or do any of this stuff according to their way or signed by their priests or their ministers or this, that, and everything else, that you won't be saved or that you're not a part of God. Don't let them try telling you a part of your work is to go to church every Sunday in this building. And if you don't go in this building, you're not going to be saved and you're not a part of God. You'll go to hell. Don't let people tell you that. Don't. Because it's not right. And if people were so Christian in their thing, you look at a lot of Catholics, and I was raised Catholic, and half are good and half are bad. A lot of them, behind their closed doors, are very evil. Oh yes, I've dealt with them myself. Very evil, very cold-hearted. And what they put on in church is one thing, but when you see them at home, they're evil wenches and assholes. Know this. I am not saying all of them. My aunts, I love my aunts thoroughly. They're not like that. But there are some out there that are. There's good and bad in everything. I don't give a shit what religion it's in. Whether you're in a religion or it don't matter. There's good and bad in everything. You know, it's a balanced planet. You gotta balance it. Anyway, so I do have a little bit of talking, but I don't know. That religious thing came to mind, and I thought about that, and I thought, man, that was religion that really made me feel that I had failed. And I was willing to just die. Because I thought, well, I guess if I'm going to die by this man's hand, my health is going to, either way, I'm going to die from this abuse. Straight up. That's what I thought. I thought if I meant to die this way, then okay. Kind of funny, though, that I lived freaking through what I did 4 years ago, died, and I came back, and now I'm in a hell just to die again? It didn't make any sense to me. But I figured it out. Now I know. So, anyway, you all have a good Friday. Be safe. Have a good weekend. I don't know. I'll do another video soon. As I say, I know people think I'm crazy sometimes doing, some of the things I talk about, but a lot of people will resonate with it, even though it sounds crazy. Certain shit sounds crazy, but you know what? It's not so crazy. It's absolute truth. And it's annoying, and it's undeniable stuff when you really think about it, and you really talk about it. You gotta talk about it, not just sit there and stew about it. And that's what I'm about, is talking about it. So, anywho, I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good Friday and enjoy your weekend. Ronnie's out.